name with it. It's the radio guy, Mike Prince, filling in for my big brother again, Brother Hall, on assignment. I guess I did enough right the first couple of times, and he said, come on back again, and here I am. Well, I can tell you this, it's going to be pretty warm today in Greenwood. 86 is the high. A little cloud, right now 78 degrees. Where I am in Prairie View, it's currently 80 degrees, and it's supposed to be raining pretty much the rest of the week. But we're going to weather the storm anyway. And before I get way out of pocket, because we got a lot of stuff we're going to try to cover today, I want to send a happy birthday to Sister Helen. Now, this is coming from Dot, Drika, and Ned. Now, they wouldn't tell me how old you are, Sister Helen, but I figured you old enough that I can call you Miss Sassy. So I want you to enjoy your birthday. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. You kind of right in between Father's Day and Juneteenth. And to all the dads out there, happy belated Father's Day. You can never say that enough. I know mothers get all the shine, all the love, but you could never, never, give too much love to our brothers, So keep it going, brothers. They give us a hard time, but it's a lot of good brothers out there. So, as they say, keep on doing what you do. We got a lot to get out and about today, and I'm really hoping that we can get it covered. You know what I mean? The best thing I guess we can start off with was, how about them Boston Celtics? I may have hit a chord with somebody, because I know it's a lot of Laker fans, it's a lot of Celtics fans, but the Celtics separated themselves on last night with their 18th win. And here's something that's about that 18th win of championships for the Celtics. They won on last night, which was June 17th. The last time that the Celtics won the championship was, guess what date? June 17th, 16 years ago. And to add to that, you know what the area code is for Boston? You guessed it, 617. So something about the 617 and the Celtics to rise ahead of the Lakers. And we're going to talk about the Lakers in just a little bit. I got a question I want to ask you guys about the Lakers. I have a feeling, and to be honest with you, I'm not a Laker nor a Celtics fan, but I do recognize greatness when I see it. I recognize dynasty. And it's funny how everybody was trying to separate and cause a wedge between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Well, you can't win with both of them. You're going to have to break it up. You're going to have to do what you got to do. And all of this stuff was going back. But them brothers gave me a magical, warm feeling on the inside when they got above and rose above their naysayers, and they just handled the Mavericks. Yeah, they said, well, the Mavericks got them by 38 on the other day. And I know, it's a lot of conspiracy theories, but when you're going something like 18 to separate yourself from your, number one rival, that in the Lakers, you want to win that thing at home, man. And you can say what you want to say. They probably, took a little day off. Don't make it look too obvious, guys. But we know we're better than the Mavericks. Let's do what we got to do and win this thing on our parquet floor. And that's exactly what they did. You get the MVP status allowed to Jaylen Brown, and it didn't matter. People say, well, Tatum was in his feeling. Well, I don't think so. I'd rather be known as a champion than an MVP. You got a lot of people who were MVPs but never won a championship. So I think Tatum will trade that out each and every time. So once again, congratulations to the Celtics. Did you watch the NBA championships? Were you interested in the NBA championships? You know, there's a lot of people who were saying that it was down this year because the West, even though the Mavs beat the top teams that were in their way with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, that you know, it just wasn't what they wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see that Lakers Celtics matchup, and I get it. The Lakers are a premier program, and I get it, but I don't get it. The Lakers, to me, are so hyped. They are so, oh man, they are so just over exaggerated. And when we do these things and say these things, oh, the Lakers can do no wrong. The Lakers can do no wrong. I beg to differ. I beg to differ, and which is leading me to what I was going to ask you guys about LeBron James. This is just my opinion, and you guys can truly chime in whenever you feel the need to. But is LeBron James potentially holding the Lakers hostage? What are you talking about? Well, you know, it's been obviously noted that LeBron wants to play with his son, Bronny. Bronny went to USC, and he went one and done, declaring himself for the draft, which I believe is, what, June 26th, 27th, one of those dates. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Bronny's not that good. You know, this is nepotism at its finest. And so you got LeBron, you know, hanging around the Lakers camp, and then you want to bring your son in. That's probably why the Connecticut coach was like, man, I'm not taking that job. That's a suicide job. Anybody with good sense God gave a gerbil is not going to touch the Lakers' job right now because of all the baggage that comes with it. LeBron James is great, has accomplished some great things, but you cannot hold the Lakers, the Laker Nation, the administrator, you can't hold them hostage because you want your son to play. Come on, man. I mean, the kid is not that great. The only reason they're going to look at him is because of who his pop is, and that's Mr. LeBron. LeBron James, very, very dominant player. Is still getting it done at, what, 40, 41, whatever his age is, but not to the point where you start sabotaging the program. And so the Lakers, to me, are going to still be trying to figure things out. Meanwhile, when you go back to Boston and figure out what Boston is doing and how they're doing it, they got a young nucleus. They signed Brown to a $300 million contract. They're talking about signing Tatum to a $315 million contract, and they're expensive roster, but you got to pay to play, right? You got to pay to play, and it's a whole lot that's unfolding and coming through the pipeline. So the Celtics, 18 championships. Bill Russell. Bill Russell was the king of kings. They talk about Jordan. They talk about LeBron. But Russell won more than all of them combined. And yeah, he was a defensive specialist, but he was a team player. As a matter of fact, he was the youngest coach to win a championship until last night when the new Celtic coach did his thing. So you can't forget what Bill Russell had done. And then if you got people who are superstitious, man, they say it was a lot of omens lined up for the Celtic greats and the Lakers greats with everything that was going on, Jerry West, Bill Walton. They say, hey, man, these guys were lining up. They say, this is that Celtic mystique coming into effect. And so you got what you got. So once again, 617 was number 18 for the Celtics. Can they repeat? Do you think they have enough in the tank? Will Denver regroup and take care of business? Or will the Mavericks come back and do their thing? We'll see. You know, one thing about it, the basketball season to me is so drawn out. I'm a baseball guy. And they said, well, you play 162 games in baseball. There's only so many. But they stretch these things out so far. And that just really irritates me to no end. And you know what else has been irritating me? And I'm so up to my eyeballs in it. And that's Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. OMG. Let it go already. Let it go already. I mean, and this thing is so obvious. It's so obvious. First of all, both of the teams are terrible. They're terrible. And I'm a big advocate for women's athletics. I had two daughters. Had daughter played basketball. Other daughter played volleyball, softball, and they need to let this go, man. They're trying to protect this young lady when she got 20 million reasons why she need to just keep on keeping on and let them say what they got to say. Because when the dust comes down, whether you think it's a flagrant, deserved call or not, she's still getting paid. And we're talking about crying wolf. It's ridiculous right now. It's ridiculous. But I will say this, that Caitlin Clark is good for business. She's definitely good for business. She checks all the boxes in what, quote unquote, corporate America is looking for. She represents the state of Iowa. She comes and she's a pure shooter. And she plays the game, quote unquote, right. I don't know what playing the game right or wrong is, but, you know, they say she plays the game right, a fierce competitor. Okay? Well, she's also known as a flopper. Let's be honest. She will flop. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of the greatest flop. But if there was ever, I think Magic Johnson he was on some late night talk show the other night. And he said if she needs to talk to anybody, she needs to talk to Larry Bird. You know, Larry Bird, say what you want to say, was a cold-blooded basketball player. Cold-blooded. And he dealt with a lot of the stuff that Caitlin is dealing with right now. And he happens to be in the same state. You know, if anyone can square her up to the game and how to navigate through the game would be Larry Bird. But you got what you got right now, and everybody wants to make Angel Reese out to be this thug. You know, I don't think she's a thug. And if the truth be told, I think it's good for the WNBA to have some of these personalities. It's almost like wrestling. And I'm not a big wrestling fan, and I never did get it. But people are all over these storylines when it comes to wrestling. Well, why not have that with basketball? Because let's be honest, yes, it's a movement right now. It is a strong movement right now with women's athletics, in particular that of basketball. So when you look at what you got right now, the question is, can we sustain it? Will it stand on its own? And I'm thinking that the only way it's going to stand on its own, you're going to have to kind of step outside the box, the normalities of thinking and doing things, and add a little more peak interest in the sport. But that's just me. I'm just one guy, and I will go on record and say I'm not the biggest basketball fan in the world. I think AAU basketball has messed up basketball as we know it today. Everybody wants to be the next superstar, no team concept, this, that, and the other. But in the case of women's basketball, what I do appreciate about it, you do have that team concept. They play good passing, good defense, but it's still a product that needs a little bit more added to the tank to draw those extra folks, which is going to lead me to this other topic about the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I know you didn't think I wasn't going to talk about no SWAC today. Well, you know that the SWAC, I'm pretty sure you may know by now, that it's been announced that the Southwestern Athletic Conference will introduce what I'm calling a 1-2-1 concept for basketball. And that is simply saying that on Thursdays, the women will play, and that will be the only featured game. On Saturdays, men and women will play a doubleheader. Then on Monday, you will have the men finishing up with an isolated game. Now, once again, in theory, I like it. Sounds noble. Sounds great. But in reality, how will we sustain that on the Southwestern Athletic Conference level? It's already rough trying to get folks to come to games when they're double headers. But now you want to isolate the women on Thursdays, isolate the men on Mondays. Now, the men on Monday playing about 6 or 7, I can actually see that being a good thing because you're not getting out so late. And the same for Thursdays. But what's going to happen when the newness wears off from the women's side of things? Are you going to still be able to do this? I'm pretty much calling this an experiment. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say after a year, for sure, they're going to be looking at the numbers and saying, we might need to start doing something different. But I don't think this is going to be a favorable deal. And I'm talking about on the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And in fact, on the FCS level, this is going to be a tall reach. And I ask you, if you're SWAC supporters, yeah, Jackson State been making a run, but, you know, their coach is at Charlotte now. What Southwestern Athletic Conference program on the women's side would warrant you to come out on a Thursday night and fill the stadium seats? You could say Don Brown Thornton, who's now at Alabama A&M after making her run at Pine Bluff, but how long would that last? Jackson State, like I said, I don't know what Jackson State has left in the tank. What other program would you be willing to say, I'm going on a Thursday night and support this program? It's really going to be a heartbreak hotel if you ask me. You listen to Greenwood Live, and I got to talking so much I forgot to even remind you all the last time I was on about the Greenwood Live 100 drive. I said, oh, there you go again. Absolutely. And last time I was on, I was challenging 100 of Greenwood Live morning support. Matter of fact, Sister Helen, come on and help us out. Dot and group, come on and help us out. Jerome Blake, Terry Coleman, whoever else, Joshua Davis, y'all come on out and talk to 3 to 5 people in your circle and tell them, man, I just need you all to come on and help me support this Greenwood Live 100. And all you need to do with the Greenwood Live 100 is 100 of you all make a commitment of $25. $25. Well, that sounds kind of high. No, it's not as high as you think it is. If you listen, I was listening to the program today, man. They appreciate the news that's being brought. keeping people informed. Now, you might not like everything that you hear across the way, but guess what? That's how the truth works. The truth will irritate you. The truth will question you. The truth will challenge you to do what's right. And to do what's right means it's a two-way street. We need to rally around. Now, last time I was here, I told you all, I'm a man of my word. I said what I was going to do. I've done it. And I've got reports. Some of you are answering to the call, and I'm so thankful. But there are a few more of you all that can come on board with this Greenwood Live 100. We thank all the supporters that help keep this thing going. It takes a village to raise a child. And we're just trying to raise this child, and that child is none other than Greenwood Live. The Greenwood Live 100 Drive. Come on and help a brother out today. You all know the number to get in contact with Brother Hall. I'm going to try to call it without messing up, but I think it's 662-299-2558. That's the number. You can call and make your donation, or just go to the website and send your donation and support today. Or just go on by. You see Lee riding his bike throughout the community, walking all over the place. Man, just pull up to the side, man, shake his hand, and be a blessing to Greenwood Live. It don't take much. It don't take much, and that's the thing about it. We got so many golden gems right in our midst, and we don't realize it until it's gone. So, I'm not going to beat you all on that all day, but go ahead on and support that movement. Greenwood Live 100. Visit that website today. It is June the 18th. You know, tomorrow means it's going to be Juneteenth. And I got to admit to you, I'm old St. Louis boy. And it wasn't until I came to Texas in 1988 that I understood the concept of what Juneteenth was about. And as a young man, I'd have asked the question, well, why would we celebrate that if the folks had deliberately kept us back in the dark? That's something we're supposed to be happy about? But I ask you, I've grown over the time, you know, what does Juneteenth mean to you? Is it just another day off to gather around the barbecue pit, sip on some cold ones, and, you know, tell our wise tales and just have a good old time? Or is it really time to reflect and teach our children from whence we come and the importance of family, the importance of supporting one another, the importance of doing everything that needs to be done? You know, as I tell you guys all the time, I'm a big baseball fan, and I think last time we talked, they acknowledged Josh Gibson and all the other Negro League ball players to be ranked amongst the Major League Baseball players, which was a liberating day for me personally. And it just goes to show, but in the midst of integrating baseball, we killed ourselves economically. Because you look at those ball players that were out there playing for black owners. Those black owners was employing black people to work in their concessions, to work as valets, to work at the hotels, to work at the restaurants, to help support a thriving community. Everything we needed was right within our community. And because of our desire to want to belong, we killed literally two birds with one stone. Yeah, they accepted us, but it also killed us. And a lot of people don't relate them together, but at the sign of the time of the Negro League coming to its demise, which is, some say 1948, but the last official season was 1954. That's when your quote-unquote ghettos started to take a precedent, because those businesses are no longer there. those buildings are now vacant, and those joys and laughter are now gone because we wanted to be a part of somebody that didn't want us to be a part of. And, you know, there are sacrifices and progress with things that happen over time. And I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, but, you know, so we have to really see and think some things through on what is really worth the sacrifice. Yeah, we're acknowledged, but we're still a little behind. I won't say a little behind, a lot behind on the economic boost, if you would. And speaking of an economic boost, my beloved Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, down in the dirty Delta Devils South. What is going on at Mississippi Valley? I know this is not new news to you Greenwood Live listeners, but we have been trying to put some rhyme to reason on what exactly is going on and what's not going on in the athletic department for Mississippi Valley State. It has been reported, confirmed, somewhat denied, some political jargon going around about the status of athletic director Hakeem McClellan. Now, Hakeem McClellan, current, and I use air quotes on that, athletic director for Mississippi Valley State, a Mississippi Valley alum, it's been reported had turned in his resignation as the athletic director, but neither Mississippi Valley Athletic Department, Mississippi Valley's HR department, Mississippi Valley President's office want to give you a solid answer. You ask one, they say ask the other. You ask the other, they say go back to that one. So they want to give you the runaround when it's really a simple yes or no. Now, technically, according to the way things were worded, he's still there in theory because you gave in a 2-week notice. But logically, that's not the case. And so what will be the next move for Valley? What will be the next move for all of our Southwestern Athletic Conference brothers and sisters? We know that the deck is stacked against us. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. But then I would like to think that any of us who take these positions at these institutions are walking into this thing with your eyes wide open and know that it's never going to be easy. And hopefully there's some more things than just money that are motivating us to try to accomplish what can be accomplished. And I'm saying that, yes, you can accomplish some greatness at Valley. You can accomplish some greatness at Pine Bluff. You can accomplish greatness at Alcorn and at all other Southwestern Athletic Conference schools. What we have to understand is accept who you are, what you are, where you are, work within the budget that you have available, and then you just go from there. If I go into the grocery store and I'm hungry and I have $5 and that's all I have, but I got to try to eat for the rest of the week, why am I going to go buy a steak? I know I can't buy a steak for $5. Or I'll feel good at that moment, but why am I going to buy that steak? Why don't I get me some beans, some rice, some ramen noodles, some crackers, Kool-Aid, and stretch this thing out as much as I can while I can to stay competitive, to stay relevant in this world of dog eat dog? But that's just me. So I'm really trying to figure out what Valley is doing. And of course, I got to talk to you about a little baseball. The College World Series, it really boiled down to the ACC versus the SEC. And the Texas A&M Aggies, and just because I'm from Texas don't mean I root for the Texas A&M Aggies. No, sir, but they are a hot team right now. Tennessee is a hot team right now. Florida did some phenomenal things, and Florida State did some phenomenal things, and you got some games that'll be coming up on today. But the reason I brought up Texas A&M, they had a couple of guys that got ejected from the game on yesterday, or the day before, whatever. They got ejected from the game for some, let's say, unethical statements being made to the opposing team that they were up against. And now Omaha is talking about putting a lifetime ban. You will never be able to come and spend your money here. And let me explain what I just said. I said spend your money. There are a lot of expensive seats at the College World Series, but their behavior was so bad that they got put out and or threatened a life ban. Now, I don't know exactly what was said, how it was said, but for you to get a lifetime ban, boy, you must have said some really low stuff. And then you got people talking about, well, that's not all Aggie fans. No, it's not all Aggie fans, but it's a majority of Aggie fans. And I'm telling you from being right here in the backyard with them, a whole different breed. A whole different breed. And I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. The Aggies are something else. And it just is what it is. And now they say what was in the dark is coming to light now. Other people begin to see. And here's a fact about Texas A&M. Texas A&M wants you to believe that they are a school of champions. You know, we're about winning championships at Texas A&M. Well, Texas A&M has not won a national championship in football since 1939. I want you to let that sink in just for a minute. 1939 was the last time that Texas A&M won a championship game. And I don't have to tell y'all that anybody that looked like me on that Texas A&M program at that time was nowhere to be found. The people don't want to acknowledge that the most successful winning coach in all of Texas A&M history, and I'm talking about history, even the 1939 championship, is Kevin Sumlin. What? Kevin Sumlin has a better winning percentage than Jimbo Fisher, who they just gave $77 million a year or two ago to go away. And you expect me to feel sorry for A&M? No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not an A&M hater, but I'm an A&M realist. And people say, well, aren't you part of the A&M system? No, we're not part of the A&M system. I'll give you a backstory on that as well. Prairie View and Texas A&M are the two oldest higher learning institutions in the state of Texas. And when they were founded in 1876, Prairie View was supposed to get some land grant money. But A&M said, oh, no, we're not doing that. So they invested in this school that was in Galveston, Texas. So instead of giving the money to where it rightfully should have gone, they invested in this school from Galveston, Texas. And when they decided they didn't want to stay in Galveston, they wanted to relocate. They said, let's find us an area that we could grow. We got all this newfound money. Let's spread our wings a little bit. So they searched here, there, and everywhere. And they decided to travel to Austin, Texas. They are now known as the University of Texas Longhorns. And I know a lot of you outside of Texas probably didn't know that, but that is the truth. I can remember I was talking with a lady. Of course, she didn't look like me. I was telling her the history. I don't know about that one. Well, it's there. Go look it up. Well, I'm going to have to look it up and get back with you on that. Well, I'm still waiting on her to get back with me on that. I don't have to lie on that kind of stuff. The record books are there. The history books are there. You know, but it is what it is. But it still doesn't take away the thrill and the glory of athletics. I love it. I know that it will help us get over some racial barriers. It'll help us get over some political barriers. But the only way we can get over those barriers, we have to be real. We have to acknowledge them that they are what they are. Just like when you go with that, we talked about Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese. Come on, y'all. Y'all know that's a black and white issue. Ain't no need of us trying to act like it's not there. Go on and poke the bear and let's get it out there in the open. We know that's what it is. We know that for years that, you know, the man that they call the legend, Bear Bryant, when USC came in there with them brothers, ran all over the place, he was quoted, I got to get me some of them ends on my team. He said, I need some of them ninjas on my team, but this is ridiculous. So it is what it is. And I know a lot of people that say, well, can we just have a kumbaya moment and let bygones be bygones? Sure, if that's what you want to do. But remember, you got to guard yourself because history has a tendency to repeat itself. And if you're not reminded daily, if you're not reminded fresh on what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, that's why Juneteenth should be a day of real deepness for us in our community. Real deepness. Don't just take it, you know, oh man, let's go get drunk. Let's go have some barbecue. Let's go play some domino. All that is fun. But at some point, share the history of how it became. And to be honest with you, I was in my younger stage. I'm like, man, there ought to be a time we ought to just take over some business or something, man. I'm mad. Are you going to hold me back longer than what I should have been held back? And I'm supposed to be okay with that? But I know we got different strokes for different folks. And that's what makes the world go round. Speaking of the world going round, Birmingham, Texas, July 16th, 2024, 10 a.m. Central Time. You're going to have the SWAC Media Day. SWAC Media Day taking care of business. All the coaches coming together to shine hopes and glory on the 2024 season. ESPN and gave us this old pause and Kool-Aid again. Got everybody feeling good in the SWAC. Everybody feeling good in the SWAC. Talking about, oh man, we on ESPN. Yeah, we on ESPN. And I'll tell you, like I told Crazy, they got 8 games that are going to be on the ESPN platform. 8 games. And one of them is only going to be on television, linear television, the television that us older folks grew up with. And that's on October 11th, a Friday night, against University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. All the other games are going to be on ESPN+. Well, that's good, isn't it, Mike? You think so? Okay. What's good about it? Well, you know, ESPN, you get that coverage, that exposure, that brand recognition. Yeah, I get that brand recognition for $11 a month, $10.99 a month. Okay, so I pay ESPN $10.99 a month. ESPN, after they get done with all their taxes and levies and everything, I might see $3-4 out of that. And we got the SWAC Digital Network, which is the same platform. Okay, they tried to tell us, well, you know, ESPN 360, ESPN Plus, and all this stuff. It's the same thing as the SWAC Digital Network. And if you go and look at the SWAC Digital Network numbers, they hold their own. They hold their own. But we are so easily hoodwinked because it came from somebody else who we think ice is a little bit colder. And I get so far. I'm glad I don't have hair on my head because I'd have pulled it all out. I'd have pulled it all out because I'm going like, man, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? Somebody can slap you and say, no, I didn't slap you. I just rubbed your cheek. No, man, you just slapped me. We got to wake up, man. But it's been proven. It's been proven. We are not willing to do what it takes to support our own. We're not willing. And it proves and shows itself all the time. All the time. You know, we talk about how the SWAC has great attendance, and it does have great attendance in comparison to other FCS deals. But we need to make every game count. I would rather play 10 SWAC opponents and one quote-unquote money game, which is soon going to be a thing of the past. But I would rather play 10 SWAC opponents than to play some schools we've never heard of, some schools that don't even care, and we're trying to fill in voids. I'd rather us just play each other and let us support and come to our own games and let us do what needs to be done. That's what I would be for. But, you know, once again, to each his own, and everybody has what they have, right? Talking about football, United Football League, Birmingham Stallions, they are now creating a dynasty, if you would. They beat the San Antonio Brahmas, and I don't even know if you guys even watch the United Football League, you know, the USFL, the XFL coming together as one. If you're a big football fan, or do you even consider that football? You know, do you even forget that is even on? Do you set your schedule to try and listen or watch a game that's coming on in the USFL? And speaking of other games, I don't even know if it's on your radar. The Canadian Football League, believe it or not, they're in their third week of their 2024 season. Some unique games, some interesting rules of concept in between those two, and you go like, I'm actually, me personally, because I am a sports guy, this is really kind of growing on me. They got a couple of rules you got to get accustomed to. For example, you know, we get 3 downs to get 10 yards. Well, in the Canadian Football League, they give you 2 downs to get 10 yards, which means there's going to be a lot of throwing. It's going to be a lot of air raid coming from that Canadian League. And they got the midfield is 55 yards instead of the 50 yards. And the punting and field goals are good. They really encourage you to return the ball because you could kick the ball, punt the ball into the end zone. And if the returning team does not return it out of the end zone, then guess what? That's a point for the kicking team. Isn't that something? And it's the same on kickoffs and everything else. They call it a rouge. And but it's pretty interesting. But football is in the air. You got a lot of SWAC ball players who are making a name for themselves in the Canadian Football League. And it's just been pretty interesting. So I've been kind of keeping a tab on that. But I know that July 16th, when the Swag Media Day start, it's going to be all about the Delta Devils, the Prairie View Panthers, the Southern Jags, FAMU Rattlers. That's really what it's all about. And they could dress it up and make it fancy however they want to. Ain't nothing like that swag. Nothing like that swag. So you're listening to Greenwood Live. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, filling in for Brother Hall. Hall is on assignment. And I do want to say again, happy birthday to Sister Helen, Miss Sassy. I want you to enjoy yourself. And not that you asked me, but ain't nothing better than a chocolate cake. So get you some of that chocolate cake and enjoy yourself. And I need you guys to help me continue to support this Greenwood 100, Greenwood Live 100. I need you. Get on board there with $25 a month, $5 a month, whatever you can support to help support Greenwood Live mornings. Greenwood Live is there for you each and every day. Even when he can't be in there, he goes out his way to make sure that you guys will get something. If you got to deal with a guy like me for the day, but he makes sure that you're going to get some content to you each and every day. And I hope that you all are at least hearing or appreciate what I'm trying to do today. You know, I know I'm not Hall. I would never be Hall. I could never replace Hall. But I'm thankful to be able to be, I guess, in position to at least fill in for him while he takes care of business. So I hear you all say all the time, I'm so Greenwood. I'm so Greenwood. Are you so Greenwood that you could be part of this Greenwood Live 100? Are you so Greenwood? You say, you know what, Mike? I don't have $25. Okay, you don't have $25. Mike, I don't have $5. No, okay, you don't have $5. But you got something. Are you so Greenwood that you can help support the cause? 662-299-2558. The brother will take your call, definitely take your donation, and definitely need your support. We need to be our brother's keeper. There's a lot of stuff going on around us that they keep in the dark from us, but you got the Greenwood Lives. You got a lot of other outlets. You got, what's her name, Sister Angela from Mike Magazine. A lot of these, we need to support these people. Do what we can while we can for them. And if we don't do it, who else will? So rally around and say, hey, I got your back. You know, matter of fact, when you see them, honk at them and, hey, we got you, Hall. And instead of just honking, he'll pull over and help him out. Help him out. Help Mike Magazine out too. They're two dynamic people, man, doing some outstanding things throughout the community. And we really owe it to them and to you, the listeners, you know, because you guys don't listen if we don't do what we need to do. And we know that you listen because some of you be mad half the time what you hear. Some of you will say, I don't even know why I listen. Well, you listen because you know the truth. The truth is compelling. The truth ain't got to be dressed up, ain't got to be scammed. The truth is going to be the truth. You tell the truth, and if you tell the truth long enough, guess what? Sooner or later, it's going to fall on some ears that have an ear to hear. And that's what it all boils down to. That's exactly what it all boils down to. I am truly excited about this opportunity. I thank you guys so much for joining in. I don't even know what time it is right now, but I feel that my time is coming, so I must exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, filling in for the legendary Lee Hall. Yeah, you know what it's like for me to fill in for Lee Hall? And I know he's going to probably cringe when I say this, but it would be like being an opening act for James Brown. Everybody knows James Brown is the man. Big Payback and just everything. The legend that he is, whatever should be. And you want me to come on before you? Well, I'll do the best I can, Brother Hall, with what I got. I'm just a little old nobody trying to tell somebody. And thank God we made it through for yet another day. But the time has come where I've got the exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I would like you guys to do me a favor if you could. I have a daily show called The Mike Prince Show. You can check it out on our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We even have a website, obnradio.com, with a 24-hour stream at obnradio.com. I have that Twitter X handle. I don't know what they done with that thing, but it's at the Mike Prince Show. And every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, we try to share a little good news with you of our Lord and Savior. 10 a.m. Central Time, you can go to the website at obnradio.com, or you can dial 857-777-0000. I'll give it to you one more time, 857-777-0000. I've got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You all be blessed. Have a terrific Tuesday. And if the Lord say the same, the lay is coming and the creek don't rise, you'll be blessed with Brother Hall on another Greenwood Morning Live. So until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.